In this tutorial, we're going to look at the light sensor. The light sensor is designed to pick up differences in the color that is being placed underneath the light sensor. So what we're going to begin with is just our standard start block. Now we're going to add our drive block and we're going to set it to on. And at the moment we're going forwards and we're going at a speed of 50. Now the light sensor has to take a little bit of time to recognize the difference between the colors that it is passing underneath it. If we travel too fast, it won't pick up the differences between the colors. So say we have a line, we're on a white piece of paper and we have a black line. As we travel across the black line, the sensor isn't going to have enough time to pick up that color, and therefore it will not maybe stop or move or turn when it sees that line because it completely misses it. So we're just going to slow down our motor to, let's try 16, or how about we enter 15 directly into it. We're going to add that to our block. That's our first block. Now we're going to go to our timer. This is our sensors. Select the top section and we have our different types of sensors. We're going to have a look at the color sensor. In the color sensor we have compare and change. So in compare we have a change in color, the reflection and the ambience of the light intensity. So we're going to have a look at colors first and we're just going to select that. That's given us one variable in our block. We're just going to attach our blocks together and then we're going to have a look at this variable. In the variable, there are set colors that it can pick up and it's assigned at different numbers. So for no color, it's 0. So it's not detecting a color. Obviously, the sensor isn't close enough to the source and it's just not picking up anything. Then we have black, blue, green, yellow, red, white, and brown, and they've got different colors, numbers assigned to each of those colors. So we're going to first have a look at blue. So we can pick blue, or as you just saw there, you can have multiple colors selected. Now we just want one color selected, so we're just going to deselect that red color. Alright, so what this is going to do is it's going to run the motors until we touch a blue line and the program ends because we have nothing afterwards happening. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run this program really quickly and let's just see if we can pick up a blue line and have the program stop. So I'm just going to pause the video and then flick over to the robot. Okay, so we have our robot here and we have 3 different colored lines. We have a white background and a blue, a black, and a red line. So the program we wrote should mean that our robot stops running at the blue line and it'll just stop and slow down. So we're just going to run the program off the iPad. And as you can see, rotates forwards, rolls forwards until it hits that blue line and then the program ends. So now let's go back to our program. Okay, back looking at our program, and now we're going to make some changes to it. You can also see down the bottom right hand corner, just down here, you can see number 3 is our light sensor and it's got a 6 there at the moment. Do you remember when we looked at the colors that we were looking at in our variables tab? What number was 6? 6 was white. So at the moment my robot is on and it's currently looking at white. So that changed on the iPad, that would have changed to 2 and the program stopped. That's why it stopped. So that's just a good thing so that you can see where it's at. You can also see that we're at a distance of 79 centimeters away from the closest object and nothing else much is happening at the moment. Alright, so let's see what do we want to do now after we've hit that blue line. Maybe we want to roll backwards. So we're going to put in a new block we're going to get it to stop the motor running. There we go. We stopped the motor from running after we hit our blue line. Now we're going to get another motor to turn on, and we're just going to go backwards, yes, and we're going to go power to -15. Oh, let's just enter it in or manually. -15. Now we have the motor running backwards. Now we want to only roll backwards for, let's say, time of 2 seconds. Oh, not 52, 2. Alright, now we want what's going to happen. So we're going to hit a blue line, we're going to stop, we're going to roll backwards for 2 seconds, and then what do we want our program to do? Alright, so say we want it to roll forwards again and detect either a black or a red line. So we're going to get our motor to start up again. We're going to get it to turn on, and we're going to set to move forwards at a rate of 15 under the power of 15. And one more thing, we're going to add in another sensor, and we're going to change it to the color sensor to compare and color. Now we've got red selected, we also want black selected. So if it picks up black or red, the program is going to end. Now, if we don't pick up black or red, the program just keeps going and we just keep driving forwards. So this is where we can use the color sensor. Other things we could do with the color sensor is if we go back up into the top section, go color, go change. We could get it so it just detects a change in the color. So it will pick up any color change and it will stop. We've also got reflect light intensity and ambient light intensity, but we're not going to look at those today. So compare, color, and we're looking for, it's remembered what we were pressed before, black and red. So we're going to pause the video now and just go back to the robot and see how this runs. So again, we have our robot here, we have our 3 lines. So what should happen is when we run the program, as I'm going to do now, the robot should move forwards, hit the blue line, stop, and go back 2 seconds and roll forwards until it hits one of the 2 other colors. Now, as you saw there, it didn't pick up the black. It obviously wasn't a dark enough black for the program to pick it up, and that's something you've got to consider. Make sure you have a solid black, and in the end it did pick up the red and stopped at the red. So there you go, there's the program running, and as you can see, you can choose different colors. If you have a solid line, it'll pick it up easier. Make sure your lines are big enough that it will pick it up. If they are too thin, the sensor will not have time to pick up the change in color, and it will just drive straight past it.